You're listening to the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast, the place to come for movie reviews, along with some extra fun talk about movie-related topics like box office and awards. You can find us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and basically any place else you can find podcasts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter for even more content. If you like what we do, feel free to share us with your friends, like and leave feedback wherever you listen to us, and let us know what you think. Now, let's get on with the show.
Ryan, we've looked at some weird movies.
Bring them.
In our time. Yeah,
them.
right? I say that without judgment. I simply state the fact that we have looked at some weird movies. And we don't hold weirdness against movies at all. We accept the weirdness and we evaluate it in the weirdness spectrum. This movie that we're about to talk about opened today, May 7th, from writer-director Chino Moya, who, checking the filmography.
First feature film.
Like a handful of short videos. First writing credit, first production credit. And the film is called Undergods. And the reason I mention all of the video short credits, directing credits, is because this is not quite an anthology. The official synopsis is an otherworldly journey through a Europe in decline, a collection of darkly humorous fantasy tales about ill-fated characters and doomed fortune. This is different.
Well,
to say the least.
Well, sure. I mean, so the kind of the way that they tie these, I mean, it doesn't feel completely like, this story doesn't connect to this story, that story, but they do this weird thing where the characters will start telling stories, and then you'll go off and you'll watch this story that the characters talk about, but then it suddenly weaves into the actual narrative.
Yeah.
So and the time structure on this is pretty
questionable.
Strange. Well, yeah. So I mean, it's a really kind of strange little creature. Let's put it that way.
It
is right there.
The I'm reminded there was a feature. Oh God, it's probably 10 years at this point. I just want to say a couple years ago. And it's probably more than 10 years at this point. It was called Southland Tales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of got that vibe to it, but without the budget.
Sure.
And this is, again, one of those films that I watched, and I was like, well, I enjoyed it, but I don't know that it was particularly good. There were some neat things in it.
Yeah.
And then there was some stuff that just didn't work for me, but like overall I got to the end, I'm like, well, that wasn't bad. So I want to tell people to watch it first, but I can't tell you to run right out and drop $10 or $20 on renting it or whatever they're going to charge wherever it drops.
I think actually you can rent it for like $5.
Probably, and I'd probably be okay with that. I would probably be okay with that. But it's just a weird little amalgam of odd stories and storytelling, because you can have a straightforward story told weirdly, and a weird story or weird storytelling elements telling a straight story. But this is kind of both.
Yeah. No, and I think that's really accurate, in the sense that, I mean, it's hard for me to say, well, this is what really happened.
Right.
Because there's part of it where I don't know if that really happened, or, I mean, to a certain extent. But so, yeah, no, it is weird. And it's obviously this guy's coming from a short background. But I have to say, for a low budget, the guy knows how to like establish an atmosphere.
Yes. No. Yeah.
There is this. There's something about this world that he has created, that I just kind of like hanging out in. I don't know that I totally get what's
Right.
what the
Yeah.
everything that's going. I mean, because there's part of it. I mean, it's okay. There's obvious themes of capitalism in this film, and how it is not necessarily fair or impartial.
No.
You have, the have and the have-nots, and to me that that's kind of a standard science fiction thing. So in some ways, it feels like a darker take on Terry Gilliam's Brazil. But
Yeah, it's you can kind of sniff the influence.
but there's also, I mean, it's British, so there's also high-rise elements in it. There's, I don't, it just so it feels like you have someone who grew up watching really good sci-fi,
Right.
who has now taken what they learned from those things and have kind of made their own variation.
Right.
And I think they did a decent job, but it's definitely not a film that's. I mean, mainstream audiences are not probably going to know quite what to do with it.
No, 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 no. This is you have to have you have to have the ability to watch a certain kind of movie.
And there's even almost. I mean, there's sort of a Mad Max element to it, but again, it's British rather than
right.
desert. It's like the wasteland of.
So it's like it's a miffed Reginald, not a Mad Max.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Anyway, but it's. I think that there's a lot here that suggests that this might be a voice that we want to pay attention to, but.
I would be interested to see what they could do with just a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And a little bit of backing.
I think that's true. Yeah, but I think what they have done is pretty remarkable, and they've got another. I don't know why I love to rate karaoke scenes in movies, but this is a movie with a really good karaoke scene.
And it's got some name actors in it too.
Oh, sure. You recognize some of the British actors who are they're by face more than name probably, but there are a lot of faces.
I said hey a lot.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Hey. Yeah. Hey.
Hey, they were in Star Wars. Oh, hey, they were in Doctor Who. Or hey.
Hey, they were in Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's an interesting film to watch. If you find it, I guess I will tell you to. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
if you like somewhat experimental, kind of out there sci-fi, and you're not really expecting to come away with, well, this is what happened.
right.
If you're willing to spend 90 minutes just kind of exploring this bizarre world,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost this. This is I hadn't thought about it, but it's almost all world building and no character development.
Right.
The
world building comes first.
Yeah.
I won't say there's no character development. The world building is definitely more prominent. I will agree with that. It is a weird. It's like remember when we watched Mother, and I said I think I liked it. Right? I think
Mother.
No one. Yes,
Okay.
snap. I thought I liked it, but I couldn't tell you why. I'm pretty sure I liked this, but again, it's really hard to quantify what exactly about it is appealing, because it's not a traditional narrative. It's not a traditional narrator. It's just not traditional, but it's not so out there that it's unfollowable.
I think what it is it's an interesting voice, a new, maybe not entirely original, interesting voice, but an interesting voice that you see it and you think, oh well, I'm interested to see what this person is going to craft as they go along in their career.
Right.
It's an unusual first feature. takes a lot of risks. Could have been
Yes.
an awful experience. Wasn't.
Hmm.
And I think there's part of me that gets kind of, excited about that, in the sense that this really could have gone wrong, and it didn't.
And we've
And
watched ones that have.
Oh, numerous
So-
films that have, but this isn't one. This one is intriguing to me.
It stays on the right side of wackadoodle.
Yeah.
Or
But if you have issues with really bad teeth,
well, I have a mouthful of them, so. But
yeah,
no, it's
like,
yeah. So it's British. A lot of British actors and a lot of British.
no, but there's a particular guy who had some really brown. It's fake, but
Yeah.
really grotesque teeth. But again, this kind of ties into the haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
And whatnot, so.
Yeah. It's just it. I see. I didn't even want it to be British. I wanted it to be like There was a very Eastern European vibe.
Well, that too. Yeah. To me, it screams European sci-fi. But yes,
Right.
Eastern European. It fits into that as well.
It's
So,
yeah. It's good. It's good, but it's good in a really unconventional way.
Yeah, you have to.
That is not for everyone.
No.
So,
but you know what? I almost prefer. That means you took some risks, and I prefer, like, if everyone likes your movie, you've probably played it too safe. So if you've made a movie that has some weirdness to it, and it works, hats off. I mean that. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this guy does in the future.
yep, absolutely, 100%. So out today, I think it's just VOD. So you should be able to find it. It's called Undergods. Yeah, it's an experience to watch. Let's put it that way. So, more movies coming. Got a big release that we're gonna get to see this week, and we'll save that for next time. But it's a Disney movie, and some other good stuff on tap that is coming out soon. One that I know we're both looking forward to is Quiet Place 2.
Yes.
To see how that goes. I think I'm going to miss the fact that it's quiet. I think that might be my one complaint. That's my one worry going in, is that the noise is going to bother me. But we'll see how Krasinski handles it in this sequel. So, because the first one was just so incredible. There you go. That's it. That's what we got tonight. So, Undergods, out on demand. Check it out. And until we get back with those next films, I'm Mark. That's Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
See you guys.
And we will talk to all of you later. Bye-bye.